they'll take the little old grandma, less of a threat than me or Homer or any other male that's in this room or any 40, 50-year-old mom, because they have the experience, and that's what they have experienced. You have an advantage over us, okay? Your grandmothers, you have a huge advantage because they think that you're senile. They think that you'll forget. Larry, great lead-in, I think. There's a lot of other things that you can do. I have at the very end, if you want individuals that are interested in doing the same things, I have a list back here. You can actually go to your Board of Elections, compare your Board of Elections from 2010 to 2012, those people who voted 2010 that didn't vote in 2012, you target those people that are 2010. Those people were cynical enough and did not like either candidate, did not see a purpose, did not see, and I can almost guarantee you, they didn't see a difference between the two candidates and they were cynical. Do we realize how many fewer people actually came out and voted versus with McCain? Had those people come out and voted with McCain, the difference of the election would have been just this last year. Now, I'm not advocating one party or the other, but I just want to point out as the mechanical influences of things. When you approach those people, have a separate meeting for this. Have a recruitment meeting, okay? Real simple. I'll sit down with Jim. I'll go over the whole process to be able to do that. When you are doing these things, I will say this, I'm just going to read this. Never give up. It is possible for individuals to accomplish great things. Anybody know the story of Lord Wilberforce in the British Empire? Real quick, Lord Wilberforce spent his entire life eliminating slavery in the British Empire. The British Empire, after 38 years of effort, the British Empire banned slavery. He died 36 years after his efforts, so it took 2 more years before it actually ended. One man accomplished that. You all know Thomas Edison, okay? Inventor of the light bulb. How many failures did he have? 2,000. 2,000 failures. Study. Find wise counsel. This is very crucial. You find wise counsel. Learn how to do a variety of things that will teach you management, sales, marketing, public speaking, business economics, software, and lastly, don't give up. If you don't have any of these things, that's why I provided these sheets. You can do these things. Just fill these things out and keep a mechanical record of things. Be willing to face your biggest fear. It's going to be rejection, folks. Find the 10 to 20% of the jewels. Some will be leaders, some will simply be retirees, some will be teachable. Again, be willing to fail. Be willing to pick yourself up when you fail. Face your fear and persevere. Find others who have the same interest in holding local officials accountable. Success comes from courage, not talent, genius, power, or good intentions, but those who are willing to take a risk. I think many of us have taken risks in our lives. This is going to take time. Now, I'm not encouraging you to give up any of the issues or things. I'm not encouraging you to give up involvement with regards to running for an office. I'm not going to encourage you to any of that. This is in addition to this. This process that we have here in our back of our minds is a 20-year process. Now, there's a lot of other things that I want to encourage you on that are happening behind the scenes. I don't get paid doing this. I'm 100% a volunteer. I do this full time. But I want to let you know, you can do it with 30 minutes a day, and it is not the fruit on the tree. It's not the presidency, it is not the senators, it is not the representatives that are going to ultimately change this in the course of 20 years. Keep in mind, it is going to be the local, it is going to be our school children that are going to be coming out. Because your kindergarten kids right now that are being taught how evil capitalism is, my gosh, can you imagine what they're going to be like when they're 23 years of age, 15 years, what's going to happen? Now, one group you can get involved with immediately, right here, is called the JA, Junior Achievement. I want to encourage you that. My son-in-law runs the Junior Achievement. I shouldn't say run. He runs the program with the schools here. That is economics back into the schools. You can do that, and guess what? You can involve yourself and mentor and tutor those kids right away. Those are the kids that are 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And the impact that you can have on that is very, very great. Now, think in terms of long-term relationships. You divide this whole room up, and only 5 of you need to focus on school board, 5 of you on city council. The rest of you get involved with the Junior Achievement Program, the mentoring program. program, and guess what? Within 2 to 3 years, you will build that up just from that basis alone. I want to thank you very much for your time. I rarely do, I always forget to do this, I ask for money, okay? I have books up here, you saw the books over here, I think, Larry, those are your books out there? Okay, somebody else is setting those up out there, that's great, that's fine. Those are materials that we also sell, I don't know if, I believe that's our book out there, isn't it? Okay. I have several different projects going on, not totally aware of everything. We have books up here from David Barton. It is Jefferson Lies. The Jefferson Lies forward is done by Glenn Beck. For a donation of $25, I'll give you a book, and that will help us with regards to what we're doing with our fundraising. Thank you very much.
Time for a couple questions? Do you have time for any questions, 2 or 3 questions? I think we have enough time for up to 3 questions. Anybody curious to ask them? Scott, are you one of them?
Yep.
Yep, which is it?
You're talking about getting to know these people. It sounds like you're just, might be an easier way is just to read Dale Carnegie's How to Make Friends and Influence People.
That's one of the reference sources that I have in there, yes.
Oh, okay, because that's why I recognize, that's why I was wondering.
You're absolutely right.
Your website program that you want to get going by, I think you said September, October, that targets.
Well, we're kicking off in the next 30 days.
Oh, okay.
But the actual public school program.
Public school, right.
Is between that and then August.
And you said you want to target the high school age kids at 10th, 11th, and 12th.
We're not, no. We're targeting all of them, but we're starting with the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, simply because we don't have enough time, and specifically, I'll be honest with you, it'll take about $200,000 just to do all grades, or excuse me, all subject matters in those grades alone.
Well, just before that, you were saying that the earlier we start with kids, the better. Considering the fact that 8th graders take their Washington trip, Washington DC
Yes.
trip, you don't think it would be better to start with junior high, your program started with the junior high level rather than the high school level?
We do have that as a project. Again, I could spend half an hour telling you about some of the projects and things that are going on. I have some information. A lot of it is in the planning stages. We have a trip planned for Monticello, excuse me. I always want to put that H in there because of the musical instrument aspect of things. But we have a trip that's involved, that's planned to be able to involve that. So yes, the tutoring and mentoring program. I don't know if I mentioned that, but your 3rd grade, 4th grade levels, you can actually read. Okay, it's mainly reading. There's not a lot of tutoring and mentoring that's going to go on with regards to that. So that's another aspect of another project. We literally have 17 different projects that are going on. It takes a lot of time to go through them all. I'll be happy to discuss things. I have my phone number if you want to communicate with me with emails or phone calls. Please feel free to do so. I'm sorry.
All right.
Last one.
I need the microphone, sorry. Okay, is it required that they pass out the Constitution? Is that legally required?
Underneath the law?
Yeah.
Underneath the law, that it is that a copy of the Constitution is made available.
It's made available.
Made available. Now, in the back of the pocket Constitutions, many of you have seen them, right? I think there's still some copies out there.
Yeah.
Homer has one. In the very, very back of that, in the very back of it is the law. Okay, it reads basically in a summary format as to what that involves.
Okay.
It is very, very vague. My schools, thank you, Alzheimer's, thank you, Larry. My school system interpreted that law to implement would be between 1.2 on the low side, million, to 1.8 on the high side. They averaged it out and said it's going to cost us between 1.4 and 1.5 million dollars each year to implement it. And we're going, seriously? That's what they told me. Okay, straight from the horse's mouth, because they interpreted it in light of the union contract.
kids go to Catholic school, and I know they do learn about the Constitution on Constitution Day, but I don't know if they've ever received a copy of Constitution. She's got lots of kids. I only have two. So, all right.
Figuring it out. I just wonder with the Common Core in the Catholic schools if they're gonna be getting rid of some of the, values that we have in our country.
When are they
Not
supposed
teaching it.
Are they supposed to be learning about the Constitution all day on that particular day?
Yes.
All day long, so in all subjects. They're,
Can you imagine the frustration for a kindergarten teacher?
yeah. But seriously, so I mean, they're not supposed to go into different subjects and learn, like, math is supposed to incorporate that, like, all day, they're supposed to learn about the Constitution.
The
correct?
Constitution. It does
Okay.
not, and in that, it's supposed to include the Bill of Rights. It does not necessarily include the Declaration of Independence.
And that's something that's required. by
Right,
law.
and it's so vague as, let me just give you a bit of an idea. The guy that did most of the research on this book, he's on our advisory committee. It took him 3.5 years, average 50 hours a week, and he had vacation time, et cetera, 50 hours a week for 3.5 years, just to read and document and research every one of Thomas Jefferson's written records, letters or official documents. 3.5 years just for Thomas Jefferson. Now, again, keep in mind, they didn't have the internet, they didn't do email, they didn't have Facebook, okay? So they didn't have any of those types of things that we have that most of us are using, I shouldn't say most of us, a lot of us are using nowadays. So as a result, everything they did, every communication they had virtually was with regards to writing. So the volume that they have is so overwhelming to the teachers and to the unions, they're going, oh my gosh, literally just in the writings that you have from our founding fathers that deal with the Constitution and the related aspects of their thinking process could basically fill this room. Okay, so that's where we have to try to make it as simple as possible for them. And quite frankly, when we give them hard copies of things, we don't know if it's being utilized. Our anticipation, I'll be real honest with you, our anticipation is come this fall, we'll have probably one teacher per school system throughout the United States accessing our information. Our web developer does Cleveland Clinic and Fortune 500 companies. Part and parcel with their agreement with us is they will place us on the first page of a search engine, if you'll notice that in the update. Okay, that'll mean that when the teachers want to access information and they want to teach this, if I only have one school teacher per school district throughout the United States doing that, I'm talking tens of thousands of teachers just that alone. And I know on a percentage basis, because they're accessing my information, I know that I will have an effect on those. Now, there's a whole nother thing that's happening on that, and I want to let you know. There's 7,000 public school teachers that we already have access to. I can't get into greater detail, but just to kind of be generalized with regards to that. They're going to have direct access, and they will be teaching materials come this fall. We have a program set aside specifically for them. It's an association that we have, not ours, excuse me, that we're networking with. So that's the 3 questions.
I'll tell you, that's pretty exciting. If you consider where we were 4 years ago, resources, the infrastructure, etc. It's astonishing how far we've come in the last 4 years. It's exciting looking forward. Anyway, we have run out of time. Last little bit to notice, we said that people were interested in forming an education committee in Medina County. Try to meet with us out over here in the other room after the meeting. We'll talk about it a little bit, definitely get your name on the list. A number of people have expressed a desire to meet that aren't here today, but we can at least get a number of us together on a list and hopefully reserve a room for a kickoff meeting. Steve's got the donate bucket today. We have expenses, of course, so anything you can do to help us out is greatly appreciated. Definitely stop by the table here and consider giving the Thomas Jefferson Knowledge Institute a hand. And Judy Bluter. Wait, Judy. Everybody knows Judy. She's manning the table out in the foyer for the TJKA. Thanks. And thank you for coming. Hope you have a wonderful day.